The calmness of the morning was soon interrupted by the sounds of grumbling and complaining as the new Railtour train pulled into the station. The two old-fashioned looking engines were relieved. "Finally," said the rear engine, "you can stop pulling my coupler." "I wasn't pulling you," said the front one. "You were just going too slow." "I ain't slow." "You are too, you old galoot." "That's fine coming from you, you lousy tin can." Just then, Toby arrived with Henrietta. "Bless my bell," he stated. "What's all this arguing about?" "I was about to ask the same thing," said Duck, who came over from the opposite direction. "See what you did?" said the rear engine. "You went and caused a scene." "You're the one who started it," the front engine huffed. All right, called Toby, ringing his bell for silence. "Now, obviously, you're here for a rail tour. What are your names?" "I'm Union Pacific 119, said the rear engine. "And that up there—" "I can introduce myself, you varmint! I'm Central Pacific Jupiter." "I recognize those names," said Duck. "You two were part of the first Transcontinental Railroad in America." "You got that right, sonny boy," said 119 proudly. "We were the first locomotives to meet together in Promontory, Utah," said Jupiter, "to help build a railroad that connected all 37 United States." "But why are you arguing so much?" asked Toby. "Oh, it started back when we were doing them annual reenactments," said Jupiter. "We tried to get every detail right every time we do it. Then one year, when they was reenacting the photograph being taken," said 119, "the feller who was playing Elias Johnson was supposed to be standing next to me." "I keep telling you, you oversized spittoon," Jupiter interrupted. "He was always next to me." "No, he wasn't." "Yes, he was." "All right, we get it," called Duck. "So you've had a disagreement in the past, but—" "Oh, it's more than just a disagreement," huffed 119. "We've worked together and known each other for so long that we plain up can't stand each other anymore." "You're dang right," huffed Jupiter. "Besides the reenactments, the only time we speak to each other is when we're a-feuding." "That's probably the only thing we can agree on." Toby and Duck could see that both engines were stubborn and set in their ways. Later, Duck was arranging stone trucks at the quarry when Toby arrived to drop off more workmen. "I wish there was some way we could get Jupiter and 119 to stop arguing," said Duck. "I know," put in Toby. "Listening to them arguing is exhausting." Toby looked over and watched as Duck loaded the trucks. He saw that he was pushing them along as they were being loaded. "That's a strange way to load trucks, wouldn't you say?" said Toby. "What do you mean?" asked Duck. "I always push my trucks until the one nearest me is under the hopper. Then I pull them out as they're loading. I've always pushed in empties and brought them out when they're filled." "I don't see why you'd bother doing that," remarked Toby. "I find my way to be a tad quicker." "Beg pardon," said Duck dryly, "but that's how I managed on the Great Western." "Oh, stop fussing, boys," said Henrietta. "It doesn't matter how you load the trucks. All that matters is that they get loaded at all." The two engines stopped for a moment. "I suppose you're right, Henrietta," said Toby. "Getting the work done and being really useful is most important." "Indeed it is," agreed Duck. Then an idea flew into his funnel. "That's it!" "What's it?" asked Toby. "I found out how we can get 119 and Jupiter to get along again. Meet me at Knapford." Meanwhile, Jupiter and 119 continued their arguing. The other engines sulked when they had to pass by their shed. "I keep telling you, you rambling wreck," argued 119. "Jensen was standing next to me when the picture was taken." And I says he was next to me, you overgrown kettle, Jupiter argued back. You're full of sarsaparilla, you old coot. You're as crooked as a dog's hind leg. Just then, Duck and Toby puffed into the yard. All right, you two, Duck announced. We're going to put an end to all this once and for all. I don't reckon you can solve this problem, said Jupiter. We've been feuding for over 100 years, said 119. Perhaps, insisted Duck, but we'll give it a go. Now, said Toby, this all started because you forgot where someone was standing. Right, said the two old engines. And every year during a reenactment, this disagreement always manages to come up. Right, then that settles it, finished Toby. The reenactment's been ruined. Well, that ain't true now, objected 119. Everything else always goes perfectly every year we do it. That's right, added Jupiter. Even if we have the odd complaint, we still manage to entertain everyone that comes to see us. Even if you don't know where Elias Jansen was standing? Asked Duck. Yep, both engines said in unison. Suddenly, the realization came to them. So I guess our feuding didn't really matter at all, said 119. We managed to do our job without knowing every minute detail. And if that's the only important thing, said Jupiter, then I reckon we've been useful all along. Toby and Duck were glad to see that they were able to solve their feud. Then, the Railtour manager walked up to Jupiter and 119. There you are, he said. I managed to find some information about the photo from 1869, and it turns out Elias Jansen was standing next to you, Jupiter, just out of shot. Jupiter whistled cheerfully. I knew it, he shouted. I told you he was next to me, you chicken-eating corn boy. No, you didn't, you honey-glazed fruitcake, cab's nose skin peeler, rusted-out grease trap. Toby and Duck sighed. I suppose old habits die hard, said Duck. It would appear so, said Toby.